Warning. This show contains content intended for adult audiences. The language is crass at best and downright insulting most of the time. This is all made for the sake of comedy and poor sophomoric taste. The skits are parodies, and any similarity to real people or stories is purely coincidental. Any insults hurled at any one human is made in jest. We're just covering our bases for when one of you skins your knee on an internet insult. We love you. Again, this is all a joke, whether you laugh or not. Not just the show, but this waking existence. The great cosmic giggle. Try not to take it seriously.
Should you ever be confronted with the temptation of taking that first puff of a marijuana cigarette, don't do it.
I don't know about you, but as for me, the question has already been answered. Should we be here? Yes.
The business of culture, any culture, is to perpetuate its cultural models. And if the hallucinogenic plants have not been integrated into the cultural model, then they are definitely seen as dangerous forces for an unpredictable sort of social change.
Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, non-binary, sentient artificial intelligence, flora, fauna alike, to the Hoosier Sophisticate show, broadcasting live from the new under construction Benton Park Studios. I am so excited to just be sitting here and just, riffing with you guys. Been missing you guys, missing the routine, missing all the community coming together. At least one day a week. This is the day of the week where everybody sits at the goddamn dinner table and tells us about their day. Okay? That's what we got going on here. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Really glad to be here. Seth is in the building. Hi, Seth.
Hi. How are you doing?
Oh, well, I'm dandy, bud. I'm real dandy. We got, even when we're like well prepared, bud, this has been the deal all along, right?
Oh, yeah.
We end up, I'm here early, you're here early, we're building scenes, we're doing the thing, and then the AT&T guys show up to do some business that normally takes an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. That took
4.5 hours.
Yep.
It
easily.
took 4.5 hours.
I think they left 35 minutes ago.
But I love those dudes. Those dudes are great. They took good care of me. Everyone, feel free to share this far and wide to all of your friends. Like and follow all of our socials if you'd like. They've been everything's been a little inactive, Seth. We've been gone. Been taking a little bit of time off between all of us, just focusing on stuff, being real deal adults, man. But in the meantime, while I was in my cave and Steve's in his cave and we hadn't talked in a while, you're like, hey, man, I don't know what you fucking guys are doing, but I got a nice little setup for us. You should come check this place out.
Found us this little pad right here, this sweet little STP. And it's under construction, Craig. Let's point. You forgot your background.
I have already acknowledged that we are under construction.
Did you? I've been sitting here.
I did.
You also threw some new software at me right before the AT&T guy showed up. It's been a great fun.
It's true.
It's been a Craig day.
The software.
It's been Craig 101.
Asshole. This is what I do. I like to listen.
We'll throw you some curveballs.
Baptized by fire. All right. This is going to be a much better setup. So let's just announce some of the cool shit that's coming here pretty soon. Pretty soon there's going to be stream-only merch. We're going to have stuff that we're only going to offer in the stream and reward the people that tune into the show every week. It's going to be great. It's going to ship out in like 48 hours. It's going to be right at your door. It's going to be a sweet little deal. We got a phone call. It's coming up sometime in the first hour. We'll see when it comes in. Bigfoot Willie Jr. said he's going to he's gonna I guess satellite phone in. I think he uses a satellite phone. We're gonna have Bigfoot Willie Jr. He's got a little something he wants to share with us.
A little housewarming.
What's up, Scotty Coops? What's up, Tyler Morgan?
We're accepting those too, by the way.
Good to see you, Dennison. What's happening, buddy?
We're accepting housewarming presents. If anybody wants to give us literally any free shit,
yeah, sure.
We'll
Don't
find
have a lot of space. Don't have a lot of space, but we will have some fun with your stuff. What's up, Rachel? How are you?
We have exactly the amount of space we need, I think.
It's a great location, though. I can look out a window right over here, and I can see. I look at the brewery. I see a bunch of happy South St. Louis and St. Louisans in general coming from far and wide to get a delicious pretzel next door. I'm sitting above a delightful little pizza cafe.
And art gallery.
Cafe Piazza and art gallery, and their food is on point, dude. Their pizza, phenomenal. I'm really excited to be neighbors with them. We got the Benton Parkade.
Sponsor.
They're a new sponsor. We're gonna have Tim come up here, and he's gonna maybe spin a pie or two and let us try it out.
Make a motherfucking pie.
What? Okay. When
Tim
you
knows
say
how to
that,
make
you're a guy. You work downstairs. When you say that, what the fuck do you mean? It's a pizza. What makes a good pizza pie maker? Like what's the little subtle nuances that are taking my pizza to the next level?
First of all, to get good at something, you got to love doing it. You got to have a passion for it.
I'm
so
with
you
it.
can taste.
I'm sitting here. I get it.
Tim's passion in every bite.
I
Plus,
dig it.
There's a lot of like consistency with the dough and stuff that's actually really important.
So when someone orders a pizza, you just start on the dough right then at that moment.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
So it's just fresh, boom.
No, you don't make the dough.
Not the dough, but I mean, you toss the
it.
crust. You do it all right there on the spot. There's not like crusts that are just hanging
I can
out.
get that fucking thing about 30 feet and spin around maybe twice.
I've actually heard from a few neutral sources that you are
neutral sources.
You're quite the magician in the kitchen, is what I hear.
And in other places.
Okay, all right, bud. All right, you want to shoot or shoot? You want to fire? Go ahead and fire.
Is that a thing?
Guys, so it's really exciting to kind of be in a cool neighborhood, above awesome businesses, like the opportunity for Hoosiers to come kind of hang out, have a conversation, but then we can also go downstairs for a bite to eat or a drink or whatever. Someone might just want to come down to get the absolute fucking work in NBA Jam, and Daddy's going to tune up the band on you, and that's okay. That's fine. I'll be whatever team you want. I know you're probably thinking you can beat me if you make me be the Sacramento Kings, but you're wrong. You're wrong. All right?
I think I named almost every NBA team the other day. Actually, it was a few months ago.
You think?
It was a challenge for me.
Okay.
I don't. Right. It's like I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
I know there's a guy named LeBron James who people are pretty hyped on.
Not on the Jam, bud. Not on the Jam. You see, on the Jam, you get like you get the Seattle SuperSonics. That's my play. Give me a little deadlift shrimp. You want some of that? You don't want no deadlift shrimp. Sean Kemp? I don't know. Anyway, I want to mention
Larry
something.
Bird?
It's very important. Top of the hour. It's very important. This deal is ending. Our show went offline right at the time that Dennison Collard from Native Hemp Extract started the craziest, most insane deal I've ever heard. It was 40% off to Hoosiers with the code HOSOCOLD on Delta 8 gummies. Delta 8's the rage, Seth. I don't know. Have you tried it yet? Have I brought you some Delta 8 yet?
I've had some gummies recently, but I don't think I've had what you're currently referring to.
Man, 25 milligrams a piece. I shit you not. I prefer them to full spectrum Delta 9 edibles.
I'm going to be honest, though. It's hard for me to try those things because I appreciate the CBD and the cannabis. All that stuff's great, but I fucking hate that type of candy. I'm not really big on sweets to begin with.
You.
But, like, when people, like, back when I used to drink, people like, you want to do a Jello shot? I'm like, oh.
Just not with it. Not with the
vodka. Oh, God, no.
Not with the texture or just the flavor or
the sugary.
I'm with you.
Thick Ugh.
I'm with you. Gummies are actually easier for me than like chocolates.
But they have
personally.
that earthy aftertaste because of the cannabis, so it's like way
Dude,
more tolerable.
these Delta 8s though they're the fucking real deal. And I've actually gotten to the point where I don't much care for just straight weed edibles. Delta 9 edibles they're just not my jam. And that's okay. I mean, that's fine. But Delta 8, like, dude, I get a nice little head change and a couple hours later, it's perfect. Like, I'll take it about 20, 30 minutes later, or I'll take it, I'll start a movie about, 20 minutes into the movie. I'm starting to giggle. I'm starting to get a little goofy. I'm laughing at the jokes. I'm having a good time. Movie's over. I brush my teeth. I go to bed. Guess what? I'm out like a fucking rock, bud. And I sleep so heavy. I have like great dreams. I wake up the next day. I'm full of energy and like it's so restful. It has really changed my cannabis consumption and the way that I think about about just getting high more than anything.
That native hemp extract, the oil, that like Steve kicked me a bottle of that stuff. I didn't even realize that's like a $120 bottle.
Fucking yeah.
And I fucking
the 1800 milligram.
Drop that shit.
Yeah, it feels real good down your throat.
Yeah. I just started to miss Steve really bad just now.
I know. I love
we just paused for a cum joke and we're like, "There's nothing there." There
no,
was nothing there. But that stuff is great before bed.
If you have a friend who dies or someone cares about you dies, and I'm not insinuating that Steve's dead. That's not how I'm going to let you guys know that Steve's dead. I will call you personally and each and every one of you and say, Steve's dead.
You'll just go live.
Yeah, I'll just go live from the service. Hey guys, we're gonna live stream. Anyway, you know how you pour one out for your buddies. You know how
of course.
Some people they'll pour a beer and they'll set it in the place of that person who always sat there, right? And that beer is just
I thought you were gonna
person.
say where they died.
Yeah, cool. Well, maybe not where they died. No, I'm talking about like we're all having dinner. You set a beer out. Well, that's what the cum joke will be, bud. It's just we'll just always leave the cum joke out there for Steve. That's okay.
Oh, leave the cum joke.
Yeah, well, and the cum.
Oh, we'll just jizz somewhere. Put him across.
He's like, yes, I knew you guys loved me. So I was talking about Denison, and
he just mentioned he will beat you with the Hornets, and I just thought it was funny because I saw that meme the other day. It's like no one knows.
I'll give Muggsy Bogues and Larry Johnson a fucking 2-piece combo, but it's not going to happen.
Have you seen that meme?
Beat me with
it's
the Hornets.
Just a Charlotte's Hornets jacket. It's like no one knows why, but at one point every kid in the 90s owned this jacket.
They wanted it
least. Every kid had a Charlotte's. I didn't even know what sport they played.
The first time that starter jacket came out, though. Like, it was, nobody put those colors together on a fucking piece of clothing before.
It was a great
And it was
look.
like, it encompassed, it perfectly described the 90s. Those
Chiefs.
colors.
I
had a Chiefs starter
great
jacket.
Color play.
Shit, I had
the Chiefs,
a bunch of Chiefs starter
jackets. The fucking
jackets.
Chiefs poofy starter jacket, I looked like I got it at McDonald's or something. It was bright yellow and red, and it was 90s as shit. And I had that and my Chiefs hat, my bowl cut, and that's what the fuck I was rocking in the winter. And I kind of want to find one of those old starter coats and just wear it. Big poofy Chiefs coat, red and fucking yellow.
So what I was getting at just before that, before he was being braggadocious about his ability with the Charlotte Hornets, I was trying to tell everybody that with the code HOSO COLD, native hemp extract, only until March 31st. So listen. You got 2 days left to do this. You're going to get 40% off your Delta 8 gummies. I think that puts 500 milligrams of Delta 8 delivered to your door just a smidge over 30-something bucks. $33, $34. It's a great price to try something out. And I was kind of a skeptic, when it comes to, I don't know what's wrong with I don't know if it's being wrong, but I've never had much a very good ability of gauging pain meds and how well they're working, and so or any kind of thing that is helping my health, for taking vitamins or things like that. I don't know that I ever feel it. I wonder how much of it's placebo. Probably plenty of it, and that's always kind of been a thing before I started using Denison's CBD, and it's a full spectrum oil, hemp oil, But like it really did like change the way that my brain was working and functioning, and like I felt like I was snapping. I'm like, okay, it really did make a marked difference. But when they kind of talk about things that might potentially, like if it didn't have a buzz attached to it, it was always like, is this even doing anything? Well, let me tell you something. I fucking took Delta 8 for granted the first time I took it, and I was wicked stoned. They were just, the mouthfeel was so good. Like I got it in my mouth, and I'm like,
cut that off
I'm
right
like,
there.
ooh.
The mouthfeel.
The mouthfeel was fucking
nice hearty mouthfeel.
Tremendous. It's just, it was a texture that my tongue wanted to swim in for a minute. And so I was kind of doing that. Next thing you know, like before I even get to the stoplight, I've eaten all 4 of them. So I've eaten 100 milligrams. And I got home and everything's fine, you know, but like we ended up leaving shortly thereafter. And I was like sufficiently completely fucking ripped.
Just bombed out.
Bombed out.
100's not a lot for a guy like you or me.
100, yeah,
It's not a ton. It's a good amount.
If I ate 100 mil, I'll tell you this: if I ate 100 milligrams of Delta 9, like depending on it's different. If I eat them in like gummies, probably not as big of a deal. If I eat them in something that's like real high in like, you know, like a baked good or something like that, for whatever reason, it just totally tanks me. So I'm not really sure what that is, if it's distillate versus somebody using, you know, full spectrum or, you know, whatever. But anyway, 40% off. Like Delta 8, like it made a believer out of me so much so that like, okay, let me go back to 1. Let's try 1 out, see if 1. And 1 is like a lot of people, they're into it. Half of 1. I think my perfect number is 50 milligrams of Delta 8, and I'm having a great time. So if you go to nativehempextract.com, you enter the code HOSOCOLD, you get 40% off for the next 2 days on your Delta 8 purchase. That's all I'm trying to tell you. I know that was the longest way to do it. It honestly is. It's like when those prices aren't going to be there anymore, like people are going to be like, fuck, why didn't I stock up? Because it's great, man. It's fun. Like for me, it is clear. Whatever. I can go on forever about how great Delta 8 makes me feel. What's up, Kinsey? How are you? Hurry up before the federal government craps all over your access. There we go. This is what I'm saying. Ordering tonight. There you go. D8 seems to hit differently no matter your normal cannabis intake. That's the thing, is I've even seen like a lot of like these like super proud heads that can't ever get high, like be like, well, that
you can't ever show them weed because like instead of just being fucking impressed, they gotta go, my cousin, he has like this purple dragon hybrid of, it's like an indica and it's like, oh my God, you're insufferable. Everyone never just listens to your damn story. They always just have to tell a different one.
Oh, that's fair.
Everyone, you always remind them of something they want to say. Sure. You know that motherfucker?
Yeah, fuck that guy.
God. There's like 4 of them probably listening right now.
Fuck that guy, Seth.
Fuck that guy.
If you guys want to start following along on Twitch, it's really going to be a better spot.
I have to keep bending forward to look at the text line.
You are,
and
you're worrying me.
Blind as a bat.
You're worrying me. Like,
I'm gonna make it home. I can drive home. We're in South City.
I know you're getting contacts.
They should be in tomorrow.
But like when we're talking about contacts, are they disposable?
Mm-hmm.
How fucking thick are the contacts that you need?
I don't know. They said my prescription. I went there Friday.
Like,
I was like, I can't see a goddamn.
Is there a level where you can't even wear contacts? You got to have glasses. Like
eventually, it'd just be too heavy, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually, it's just like you have to have an apparatus strapped to your head.
Yeah.
Like my buddy that's
hey, you gotta wear
my
this
buddy that's
microscope
legally
around.
blind and your wife cracked a fucking joke right to his face, and he never saw it coming. I think he followed up with that. That was funny. That was great. But I forgot what she said too. But it was.
Well, what's up, everybody on Twitch?
I want to point out. I should be able to see again tomorrow. I can see I can see a few things. I can see that you're wearing a really cool shirt, Craig.
I am wearing a cool shirt. This is our buddy.
Like I can read the print because it's a white background
Will
with like
O'Donnell,
big purple letters.
The Willie Thrilly Comedy Hour at Willie Thrilly Comedy. Guys, he's a funny cat. I'm a big Will O'Donnell fan. I actually tune in. He's one of the dudes, like I tune in every week for his little
he's my favorite local
comedy
comedian.
hour. I dig his style. You know, I dig his style, and I just think he's a good dude, and I think he's very intelligent.
He's a hot dad.
He is a hot dad. He's, what did we say last week? He's kind of a blend between like John Stamos and
Matt Carpenter.
Matt Carpenter, yeah, that's probably.
And I said I'd like to watch him make that blend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not taking it back.
You're still in on that.
A week later, I'm
Hey,
still down.
have you checked in with Bigfoot Willie at all? Or have you made any
we got
headway
something
there?
here, Craig. Are you ready for this?
Yes, guys. I believe our friend Bigfoot Willie is calling in with a little message for us all. Yeah, man, here he is.
Oh, hey everybody, it's me, Bigfoot Willie Jr. Listen, I got a call from Craig on my satellite phone here in an undisclosed location. And so I'm here to welcome them to their new studios over on the corner of Lamp and Arsenal. And also I'm here to just wish everyone safety and good health because, you know, Bigfoot is the ultimate social distancer. And, you know, speaking of socially distant, you know, it just reminds me of my one elusive love other than Bigfoot, a woman by the name of Shelley. Well, I've been so socially distant, socially distant all my life. My preference ain't for people, I'm more partial to the pines. I've been socially distant all my life. As a little Willie Jr., traipsing blindly through the woods, I'd sleep underneath a willow just about any time I could. I'd nestle in the moss and hear the birdsong lullaby. Just as my eyes were closing, that's when Shelley would walk by. I've been so socially distant, socially distant all my life. My preference ain't for people, I'm more partial to the pines. I've been socially distant all my life. In the middle of my youth, I was strolling around a butte when I caught a glimpse of Shelley once again. I attempted to call out, I found I couldn't move my mouth, and she quickly disappeared around the bend. I've been socially distant, socially distant all my life. My preference ain't for people, I'm more partial to the pines. I've been socially distant all my life. Now I'm in my autumn, and the only company I keep is the stars twinkling above me and the dirt beneath my feet. And if I ever see that Shelley or hear that Shelley sound, I'd rather be 6 feet from her than 6 feet underground. And I've been socially distant, socially distant all my life. My preference ain't for people, I'm more partial to the pines. I've been socially distant all my life. Good luck in the new studio and everybody stay safe.
It's amazing what you can come up with when you find yourself, I guess, isolated in the wilderness, looking for a mythical. Well, I don't want to call it a mythical beast. That's probably insulting. That's probably
It's a
pretty
bold assumption.
pretty insulting. Bigfoot Willie Jr. is one of the most underrated musicians in all of the
Can we
Redwood
just be
Forest.
serious for a second and tell about that day when he just walked in and sat down and wrote that right?
We can.
He walks in, sits down, and well, I'll let you tell. Like, you're like, do you have a song? He's like, yes, I'll sing.
Well, basically, yeah. It was like we knew we wanted to do something, and it was one of the most amazing things I've really ever seen, because I'm like, all right, man, well, what do you got? And he goes, oh, I'm gonna write it right now. He's like, I got an idea, and so he just starts writing this tune. And in the meantime, I've got my son and my nephew are running around. I got some family members in here kind of checking out the space. It's pandemonium. I think my brother came by.
It was a madhouse.
There was 8, 9, 10 people in here. And meanwhile, he's just sitting there kind of just bloop, 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 writing it down, And next thing you know, everybody blows out. We set up a camera. And I believe you were holding the, that was my brother. It was my brother. And he stands up and one take, boom.
One take Willie.
One take Willie. He would not like us throwing away his. He recorded that in the woods, guys, and he sent it in. Is the point that we're trying to make here? Yeah, he's amazing. It looks like our buddy, excuse me, Dennison wants to kind of talking about, while y'all are playing hype man for me, we are finally getting our hemp flower extract back. CBDA, rich, real full spectrum oil from this past year's harvest, and will be available within a week thanks to Tyler Morgan at Skytrace Farms. Big shout out to Tyler for providing high quality CBD extraction for me. Even Tyler's a great dude. So shout out to Tyler at Skytrace. I believe Kimberly posted. So everybody's posting some links for our friends who are trying to get some Delta 8. I saw that you had a little bit of an article, so we get the opportunity to share some space. Also, real quick, going back to Bigfoot Willie, like, you know how long it would take me to come up with like a thing that was like a double entendre, like the whole, like, what how crazy is your
Shelley
brain?
distant.
So Shelley distant. Been so Shelley distant all
It's
my
a
life.
solid ass song. I've been meaning to pull a copy of it, just have the audio.
It's so good.
Just to have.
I'm listening to that in the car.
It's a good
I
song.
find myself singing it often.
I was singing it the
unbelievable.
other day. I
find myself singing
Shelley
it.
distant.
Me too. I was singing it the other day, all day. Actually, before let's see. Do we go to the article right now, or do we want to talk about what I did this weekend?
I want to tell me. Actually, I only got a little snippet of it earlier, and
Okay.
it sounded pretty funny. Let's go ahead and dive into
Well,
that.
I don't. Okay, so
It's not funny because it does take place at a funeral.
yeah,
But-
yeah. It's just, well, okay. So it bears noting, I come from a massive family. My dad was one of 15 kids, so I have like, pushing like 80 first cousins on that side, and like everybody had big families, and so it's a huge family. But also, my grandparents have now been passed for a decade or more, and so like all of the family coming together pretty much only happens for funerals now, which is not crazy, or that's I think kind of a pretty standard thing. And so I had a cousin who's my age who passed away, but he passed away during COVID, and when it first started, and so they weren't allowing gatherings anywhere, and just weren't in a place. So anyway, so my family reached out to me, a member of my family reached out to me and asked if I would lead us in prayer at this funeral. And that's something that like I kind of excel in anyway, is like,
Leading people in prayer.
just
It's
hold,
the farthest thing from anything I'd ever
No,
want to do.
no,
If somebody asked me, I'd
not
just
so
be
much
like,
leading
it
in
would
prayer,
be,
but
no.
just like kind of emceeing an event, right?
Okay.
Holding space. I give pretty good eulogies.
Keynote speaker.
So thank you. So and I'm pretty comfortable there, and like also love my cousin. I would be happy to say something, for him, and that was kind of my understanding, was like I was going to give like a eulogy or something, And then I was, and it also bears noting that my family is incredibly Catholic, you know.
Catholic AF.
Yeah, they're Catholic AF for sure. And so, you know, I also know kind of what their expectations are for, you know, this funeral rite. And
now their weddings last really long, right?
Yeah,
Catholic weddings.
But dude, our weddings though, like
funerals?
that shit is so worth it in our family. Like,
Is funerals kind of the same thing?
Yeah, funerals. It's a mass. Yeah, so like they're all full masses typically. So that's kind of.
Oh, you do the cracker and the wine shit at the funeral too?
If it's done by the church, yeah.
Just
a lot of times
because
you don't have.
they have so much.
You don't
They gotta
have
fucking
to.
push
You
that
don't have
product.
to. But I mean,
Shit-
that is
shit will
if
get
they say
stale.
a full mass. Like it's not even a full mass unless the Eucharist is offered. Whatever. We can do that another time.
All right.
How about that? We could. Well, I'll educate people on Catholicism. Once a week, we'll have a Catholicism segment. They can play it on that station.
We just pick a different religion every week.
Totally. Yeah, I'm down. So anyway, I understand that my family probably has some expectations for what they think this prayer is gonna sound like. It looks like the Twitch stream is potentially down, Mike. You try and reload it. It's back up. So I start. So I just know that they're kind of. It's probably going to be a little Catholic-y. And my aunt's asked me this, and I just want to be really clear that she knows who she's asking, because while I am so happy to like lead in prayer, meditation, Kush Coach, love you, babe. Super stoked. Show's back. I'll catch everyone next show. We'll see you. I'll be skipping that show. You don't have to worry about anything. So I want to know that they know what they're signing up for. And she sends me what the gospel that's going to be read is. And like, I'm like, do you want me to read the gospel, or do you want me to give like a homily after the gospel? And she was like, it's more of like a homily. We'll have someone else read the gospel. I said, okay, fine. So then it was like, then I got like the script, bud, for the thing. Like they had a script. And I'm like, grateful for it actually, because I'm not 100% sure what is expected of me at this point.
That would actually be pretty nice. Are you allowed to make edits?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And that's
That
what
was a joke,
I'm
but
doing.
You really are.
Okay. Well, if Twitch is no go, try out YouTube or Facebook tonight. Whatever you choose. Not a bunch of people over on YouTube. Probably not as bad. Twitch is weird on Monday nights. It's great in the mornings.
All them gamers
It's all those gosh damn gamers. So
taking up the bandwidth.
So I get the script, and it's like there's like an opening song, and then it's like I have to open with a prayer. So what it turns out, how this script reads, is that I'm just running the show like I'm a preacher or something, dude. Like I'm a pastor. I'm neither of those things, but fuck it, I'm here for it. Like I'm here for it. But as I'm reading it, like I have to. If there's one thing that I'd like to think that I'm not, it's a hypocrite, right? And like if I'm gonna lead you on some kind of spiritual quest or spiritual understanding, like I'm gonna have to come at you from like a place that I believe, like, right? Like I have to speak of hope from a place of hope. That's where I'm kind of at. And so I found a way to kind of write an opening prayer that was like big G God centric.
Sorry, I just transitioned your article over, but I'll fix it in like 2 seconds.
Oh, that's okay.
Just keep talking.
So like I just wanted to make I wanted to give people this idea of hope, this coping mechanism for coping with sorrow, with grief, but also like speak from a place of like it's like to give people a little bit of just something to hold on to, something that made it all right. And I ended up doing it. And I did it kind of my way, and it really worked.
Frank said.
Like Frank said.
Like fucking Frankie said.
It worked. Not only did it work out well, dude. Like I had people coming up to me all day. It was a mic dropper,
yeah.
And like I had people coming up to me all day that were just like just singing my praises about how great the ceremony was and how I had a knack for it. And I had people that were kind of outside the family that were extended friends of his ask if I was a pastor somewhere. And
will you do our wedding?
And straight up, I had someone say, "Why don't you just go ahead and get your license? You're ordained. Get your license from the state to be able to facilitate these things." And I'm like, I mean, I guess I can. Like, be kind of fun. Like, I'll probably only do it for like my close friends.
Mr. T did.
For like my close friends, but
he did my cousin's wedding.
Mr. T did your cousin's wedding. Mm-hmm. Were you there?
Yeah, we. I've never told you this story before?
You have never... Mr. T.
Well, finish yours.
I'm done. I fucking knocked it out of the park, bud. I was like...
Yeah. Okay, so Mr. T's a family friend. He married... No, he didn't marry anybody.
Shut the fuck up. Mr. T is a family friend?
How have we never had this
How has he
conversation?
never been in this...
When we first started this show, I told you I was going to try to get him on the show, and I tried to get a hold of my cousin, and Mr. T was in Europe at the time.
You don't call him... You guys are on a fucking first letter basis? You don't even have to call him Mr. anymore?
What's up, T? Sup, T? All right, well, T and... my cousin married one of his best friend's sons. They met in college. So he was at the wedding. I just came home from Iraq. I'd been home for like a month. And this was like the first thing I had to do was be in, like, me and all my cousins. One's in Air Force dress, and then my cousin that's a Marine. He's in his dress uniform. I'm in my dress uniform.
Dress blues, dress greens.
We did a whole candle lighting ceremony. We killed it. It was fucking sexy as hell. And then we hung out with Mr. T.
Tell me he said he pitied the fool.
He said he pitied
that
the
married
person.
That groom.
He said, I pity the person that thinks these, instead of if you have anything to say about you. What is it exactly?
He said, I pity the person that has anything to say about, like, forever hold their peace. I pity the fool who can't hold their peace. I pity the fool who can't hold their peace.
No gold chains, but gold vest under his blazer.
Did he have like fucking robes on, or like a shawl or something?
No, nice blazer. I think it had tails, if I remember correctly.
Dude, if Mr. T fucking married me, I want to do over. Fuck it.
Dude,
I want to do over. If Mr. T's gonna marry us,
you're still like probably my favorite wedding though.
Our fucking limo is gonna be the fucking van, bud. The A-team van.
I always said your wedding's my favorite, but now that I'm remembering.
Now that you're remembering that fucking Mr.
This is
T.
2009.
Okay.
This was Halloween of 2009.
Well, that's pretty goddamn awesome.
So we are driving. I'm sitting next to Mr. T on the bus from. We're going to the reception or whatever after the ceremony, and he's like, "What time we eat?" And they told him dinner time, like, "Oh, they serve at like 9." He goes, "Oh man, nah, we gotta go to McDonald's or something, man. I'm hungry now." And it was
Clubber Lang.
And he was sitting next to me, and he's like, telling a story because it was Halloween. He goes, "Well, one time I was in Toronto, Canada on Halloween, and I was running across the street, and this car almost hits me, and they honk." And I was like, "Sorry." And the guy rolls down the window and goes, "That's the best Mr. T costume I ever seen." And just drive off. And I was like, that was fucking dope. I was laughing.
Dude, that always happens to Tony Hawk. What's the deal with that?
Do a kickflip. Like, people, I didn't skate with him.
Have you seen the internet phenomenon that is everybody like tells him he looks like Tony Hawk, but like nobody realizes that he's Tony Hawk, or they read his fucking ID and they're like, "Oh, like you ever heard of Tony Hawk?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's me."
So dude, I had the biggest hangover, and I'm eating breakfast between Mr. T and my grandma, just eating these eggs.
All right, hang on. I missed a key part here, and I know you said it, but I missed it.
I was drunk. It was a wedding.
How does Mr. T fit into your family?
My cousin met one of his closest friends' sons in college in Indianapolis, maybe.
So is he in a relationship with someone in your family, or he just fucking hangs?
They just became close. Like, yeah, he's from California. My cousin's husband, him and his dad, he's got some money.
Okay, well, apparently.
I've seen pictures of the house he keeps in his backyard, the very nice house he keeps in his backyard next to his even nicer house. But anyway, it's a great family.
Right on. That's really cool.
Yeah, and like I said, I met Tony Hawk. I was too drunk to skate, but he was at the skate park right next to my
next
place.
to your house.
Remember that? I think I don't think we were doing the show yet. I think it's right.
We
before.
weren't. It was right. Like, dude, if they would have made that announcement in 1996 or 7, I would have been the happiest kid on the planet. Like, where they put that skate. My grandma lived in Itasca, fucking 3 blocks down. Like, they put that skate. There was nowhere to skate when we were kids. Nowhere.
No, I was a skater.
You had
when
to
it
be
was
like a
illegal
street
to be a
skater.
skater.
Yeah, 100%. Every parking lot had a sign that said no rollerblading or skateboarding. And like, it's too many of us shredding the gnar, bud.
It's a culture.
It's too many of us shredding the gnar.
Shredding the thrashing, baby. Thrash going out there and doing them tray flips.
Yeah. So like there was no
Tray flip nose grind.
like even I mean there wasn't even like it would have been even cool to BMX on that little bowl and everything. Like I don't know. I'm just saying that as a kid I didn't have much to do when I was at my grandma's house over that way. That would have been walking distance and that would have been awesome. But anyway, yeah, he came in for that. Was it like was it a grant that like the Hawk Foundation put on or something like that?
I don't know how Tony actually got involved. I do know they got
They were building
they got a
skate
bunch of
parks
money
all
to
over the country.
like renovate that. Oh, is that what happened?
It was like from
'Cause I got
stimulus.
a
It was
letter
like
from
stimulus
my
money.
landlord. I found out through my landlord. He gave everybody a letter saying that the block was going to be closed off, and I was like, "Block party with Tony Hawk? This sounds like fun." So Gramophone was out there, had a tent set up, or
Gramophone was
serving beers. They had a DJ spinning hip hop. The place was
so
packed. You
good.
couldn't really skate. It was just like everybody just kind of going around and hanging out. It was packed. There's people playing skate out in the street. I'm sure you're familiar with the game Skate.
I am.
Just like horse.
It's like horse, but with skateboards. Mm-hmm. Well, that's awesome, dude. Peter Matthews. Who is Peter Matthews? Peter Matthews Memorial Skate Park.
Yeah. That's his name. The park is named after a Peter Matthews. I don't know the story behind that. I was a skater back in late 90s, early 2000s in central Illinois.
He's a political
I still
analyst.
am.
Okay. Well, maybe not. He was going to run for Congress, but that domain doesn't bring you anywhere. Okay. I'm into it. You want to go down the rabbit hole?
Are we going to do that? Or
No, we'll go. Let's talk about LSD first.
because I'm already set up for something else here.
Okay, let's talk about LSD.
All right.
You with that? Mm-hmm. One of the cool things about this space is that we get to share it with some friends every now and then. And a friend of the show, really talented writer, dude. Have you read the Supreme Team yet?
I haven't. I own it. I own an autographed copy.
If you start it, you're gonna love it, dude.
I own a few autographed books.
If you start it, you are going to love it. Like he is, Seth Ferrani is who I'm speaking of. He's been on the show a couple times. He's a convicted former LSD kingpin, is what they call him, right? Mm-hmm. He's been the star of a couple of shows. Have Drugs, Will Travel.
Yeah,
on
that
Vice.
was his episode of I Was a Teenage.
I Was a Teenage.
I was a teenage felon, and his episode was entitled "Have Drugs, Will Travel."
Have Drugs, Will Travel.
And if you haven't seen that,
he's written some. He's written for Vice for quite a while, right?
I think he started while in
he was in. Yeah.
House.
He's just a really good writer, and now he's kind of dipping his toes into filmmaking. Got to see the opening
White
kind
Boy?
of little bit. He's a part of White Boy.
Boy's going to Netflix.
Oh, is it?
He posted. That's what he posted.
Cool. I didn't see that
like a week ago.
I did not see that. That's cool. I will look that up.
I'm gonna charge him more for rent.
You ought to.
You got that Netflix money, son.
He's got Netflix money. But anyway, we got to spend a little bit of time with him, and it's kind of fun hearing his stories. It's a totally different world, like in prison, man. And like I've always been fascinated by guys who didn't just do like a little bit of time, but like where it took a substantial chunk of his life, like that he spent in there in like
21 years, 93 to 2014.
Yeah, I mean consider just how different the world is
From
in
Waco to
Yes.
Michael Brown.
Yeah,
That's the chunk of time. If you want to think about that,
that's an insane way
he
to
missed.
think of it.
He
Yeah,
missed
like-
Y2K, the Clinton blowjob, 9/11, bunch
he
of
missed-
Super Bowls,
yeah.
bunch of shit.
About
Some
21,
great
about
albums, too.
20, 21 to be exact. Anyway, like that is crazy to me, dude. Like when I think about fucking cell phones, like from 2014 to 2009, like from when I graduated high school, nobody had a phone. I mean, a couple parents did. By the time I was in a couple years, like post high school, like everybody was getting like a Motorola Razr. It seemed like I was still rocking that Nextel chirp, hitting the buddies up. But like as far as like smartphones, like I got my first one probably like in 2007, 2008, something like that. Think about that, like my first BlackBerry, like 10 years ago. I
had 2 Blackberries.
Motorola. I love fucking my BlackBerry. I tried to hold on to that thing forever. If BlackBerry still had a network, I probably would. They just fucked it off. They didn't think that apps were important. That's the problem. So anyway, like when I think about that, just as far as how much technology has changed in 10 years, consider how much technology has changed from 1993 to 2014. I mean, dude, you're talking about 8-bit Nintendo. No, Sega Genesis came out in like 92. You're talking like Sega Genesis. You go in at Sega Genesis and you come out at Xbox 360, Xbox One.
Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, Xbox One. Yeah, fuck. Dude, you went from 8-bit to now like you have a fucking controller that you play games with, and you like, what? Dude, I don't know. I mean, it's not like you're completely in a fucking hole. They have a well, actually sometimes you are. You do get thrown in the hole. But you have TV, you have some, some semblance of what's going on out there, but you're not really experiencing it. Anyway, the dude became such a talented writer. He might have already been a great writer beforehand, but I know that he honed his craft while he was in there, and he's got a new article. He's got a new article with Vice magazine, and it's what it's like to take LSD in a high security prison. Seth, how does that sound to you out the gate?
Am I visiting the prison, or am I in prison?
You're in prison.
Okay, well, if I'm going to be in prison, then that sounds pretty terrible, Craig. As someone who's may or may not have experimented before.
Mm-hmm.
No, set and setting is super important when it comes to that kind of thing.
Agreed.
Like, I'll take enough to where I can't be around people. Because my biggest thing is
I
don't like people to like give me things to think about.
I prefer.
I want 100% control.
Totally.
Of that.
Well,
I want to control the music, the temperature in the room.
I'm with all of that. It really does. It's a completely different experience. Now, with that being said, like,
you ever sat in the dark?
Oh man, I love fucking
the things that you see just engineered by your own brain are crazy compared to the open eye visuals.
If you just give your brain an opportunity, if you give your brain a blank canvas, it will make some fucking crazy shit.
It's like when you're scanning your computer and your virus protection or whatever is like cleaning junk files.
Defragging.
It's like we're gonna do this. Here's something you can watch to keep yourself entertained while we get all the bullshit.
I think that it would be
Washington Post and the Facebook and CNN and Fox. We're gonna get all that out of there and get it organized because they leave all the junk files behind when you watch it. Think of it that way, Craig.
It makes sense to me. Like if I was a lifer, and I wanna go back. I said that he just wrote this. This is an article that's 5 years old. But I think that if I was in there,
he just posted it. That's what he did.
I think that if I was in there, I think that I would be all in on it. I just think about if it's any point a place kind of is home or feels like home, like I feel like I need to navigate that space in my home in order to kind of really kind of know where I stand. So just to kind of start out, prison involves many things associated with bad trips, enclosed spaces, law enforcement, and violent people who might fuck with your psychedelic stuffed head. For prisoners, though, a hit of LSD can expand the mind as well as the walls of their cells. Inside the belly of the beast isn't the ideal place to take a hit of acid. Prison involves most things people associate with bad trips: enclosed spaces, law enforcement, ugly rooms, and bleak environments.
Everything you don't want.
For a lack of better comparison, it's more Shawshank Redemption than Alice in Wonderland. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. I think that everybody should check this out. It's at Vice.com. What it's like to take LSD in high security prison. I was a nonviolent offender who got sentenced. Yeah, Seth he got sentenced 20. I think it was 23, and he did 20. Is that right? Like,
he did 21.
I know he did 21.
I think he was sentenced to 24 and did 21.
Okay, yeah. And I always kind of find it interesting. One of the things I find most interesting, we're gonna have Seth back in here, is just like the flow of drugs in jail, just like anywhere else, and hearing how these guys talk about how, economies, no matter, anytime you have a group of people living in an area, an economy is going to be created, so it's always interesting to me kind of what's readily available. But when you think of, spending 365 days a year in the same place with the same routine, like, after having enough experiences with it, I can make sense. Of.
Oh yeah, when that becomes your life, when you get settled into that, get some of that orange peel, LSD they make or whatever the fuck. How do they make that shit in prison?
What's that?
LSD.
Oh, I think they just get it in. I don't think they make it.
Well, they make their synthetic prison versions for sure.
Maybe, yeah. I would just think that it's really easy to get a piece of paper into prison. Mm-hmm. It's really easy to get a letter into prison. So LSD's a tough one. There's not a ton of people that make LSD,
and it also lasts a long time.
Yeah.
You got to think about that.
Yeah,
like if you got thrown in the hole and you're just stuck in a room by yourself for a day. Yeah, fuck yeah, I'd take some.
Are you kidding me?
That'd be the
They're going to
best.
throw you in solitary confinement?
That's what it's for. It's not for hanging out in the yard like you're at a music festival. Like, look at the colors,
now, it
bro.
might be, now you also don't get
It's like this guy
the
stabbed me and
comforts.
it looks like I'm bleeding. No, dude,
you've
are
been
bleeding.
fucking stuck. You're bleeding.
It's like light is getting dim. You're dying. Dude, you've been stabbed.
Oh,
so
man.
good. I made it in a toilet.
Pretty sure Tony funded the project for a skater that died. Oh.
Yeah, I think that's the story. I don't want to say it is.
Okay.
Because I don't know for a fact, but that sounds right.
It's a freaking another world in there. Drugs are a huge commodity. Yeah, I get it. And that's something else that, like, that's just another thing when you talk about the war on drugs and how silly it is and how people just...
It's just as prevalent in prison as it is outside of prison, it seems like.
People like drugs.
Yeah.
Turns out. Since
it's
the
like,
beginning
throw me
of
in
time.
prison. I'm going to find a way to get drugs while in prison.
Yep.
Like,
since the beginning of time, people have and will always seek these things out. I'm reading a book right now, Seth. I'm reading a book that is a bit on par with the conversation in that it is almost entirely about psychedelics. I finally got a copy of P-Call and T-Call, which are the books that Alexander Shulgin, Sasha Shulgin wrote, who's the guy that is kind of famous for rediscovering MDMA, but also he's like the father of phenethylamines in general. So, like it is incredible. He just brings it up how this is the first time, this is like back in the 60s. It's the first time in human history where a government has stood in between people and what they choose to put in their bodies by choice. I like to think that if I was, we're a little choppy tonight. I got to think that if I was in the hole, that's exactly how I'd want to be spending my time, especially if I was a creative,
Yeah, we were doing great, but it looks like we might be just a little choppy. But
I think I know some ways around that. We'll just cut it down a little bit. Hey, you want to take us down to the rabbit hole?
You want to go down the rabbit hole?
I would love to go down the rabbit hole.
Okay, let's do that. The rabbit hole, Craig.
What do we got in the
I
rabbit
wish you
hole
could
this
see
week?
the background. He can't see anything. Well, what we have in the what do you tell us, because I can't see. I was gonna read.
I'll
the article.
happily
This
tell
is
you.
normally my segment.
You said that this is about,
normally my segment.
Well, I think you have a picture that comes up for this one.
Oh, I was just gonna kind of sneak it in there.
Okay, so
After
you told me something. I was like, well, I guess that's exactly what we're talking about, because as soon as I heard Texas Rangers,
I usually go through like 5 articles, but today was one of the
It was
rare
like a-
times
it was
I
a-
see it. I go, that's it.
it was a one take. Hang on, I'm gonna pull this up here real quick. I want to read along with it because, by God, we caught him, Seth. We caught him, pal. The Texas Rangers, those lion sons of a bitches, one of the country's most prominent law enforcement agencies, has stopped using the long discredited tactic of hypnosis during investigations. The Rangers, this is from Insider.com. The Rangers, which are part of the Texas Department of Public Safety, had been using hypnosis to question people for more than 4 decades before ending the practice in January, according to the Dallas Morning News. DPS has developed more advanced interview and interrogation techniques that yield better results, a spokesperson for the DPS told the newspaper. Can I just get a fucking timeout for a second? You can't fucking hypnotize people and then pretend that like you're... Well, hang on. Your tactics, your techniques were advanced in the first place. That's not advanced. That's you tricking people into saying what you need them to say. Have you ever seen people get hypnotized?
Are you sure they're trying to get you to say something that you don't mean to say, or something that you normally wouldn't say?
Well,
but
doesn't
they
it
need
work
to
both
know?
ways?
Like maybe it's something.
If
they
it
need
works
to know.
both ways, I think that in a job that like gets attaboys and promotions based on people you bust, I think there's more people fucking using some hypnosis to bust people for shit that they probably didn't do than there is getting people to fucking... I mean, listen, we want people to confess. That's great. But like hypnosis, I don't think that is a good way to get a objective truth out of somebody.
You don't know what you're getting. Well,
You don't know what you're getting.
I just like the Walker Texas Ranger strategy of just kick people in the goddamn face. Just go around and kick the shit out of 4 people
That dude
at a time.
took a helicopter out of the air with his fucking foot one time. I'm almost sure of it. As a kid, I remember being like, holy shit, Chuck Norris just kicked a fucking helicopter out of the sky, which is fucking amazing. Last year, the Dallas Morning News released a 2-part investigation of the Rangers' use of hypnosis in cases that put dozens of men and women behind bars, some of whom ended up on death row. The investigation found the agency used the practice in more than 1,700 incidents.
Shit.
The Dallas Morning News reported officers in the agency carried out at least 8 hypnosis sessions last year, including 3 in murder cases. New information came out of 7 of the sessions, the Dallas Morning News said. The efficacy of Where's the fucking bell? The efficacy of hypnosis in reviving memories has been debated for years, but experts warn it can distort witnesses' memories and lead to false convictions, according to a 2019 report from The Guardian. Johns Hopkins Medicine also said hypnosis does not work well as a memory recovery method. Fuck no, it doesn't. What it does work as is a really good way to put fucking words in people's mouth. That's freaky. That's
It depends
real
on, like,
freaky.
did they do enough research first to determine that hypnosis will actually get people to tell just the truth, and you can't really like guide them to admit, because like they get nothing out of getting someone to admit something that they didn't do. They still need to find out who the fuck did it, if they murdered somebody or whatever.
Maybe, dude, I don't know.
I mean, you can't
man.
just. Well, we got to bust somebody, so we need to trick somebody into.
Dude, but they
I'm
do.
not. I don't think it's an ethical
That
practice.
shit happens all the
I'm
time.
not saying it's an
though.
ethical practice. I don't think.
The
I don't think
amount
they're
of
gaining-
wrongful convictions
Then just arrest the guy and
is
say.
fucking insane.
Just lie.
I know. Oh, hey, I'm with that. I get that.
I mean, they need him on camera saying it, because shit, with the technology today, I can get you to admit that you murdered somebody on camera, probably, with all this AI and.
with the deep fakes?
Yeah, the deepfakes. Shit.
No doubt.
Creepy.
No doubt. I'm not convinced that we haven't seen at least one video of our presidents in the last 3 presidencies, including up till now. this very early one. I'm not convinced that we haven't seen them address us with a deep fake.
Biden needs a deep fake.
Dude.
If anybody does.
I'm not gonna get into
disaster.
Like the thing that I like
Politics
about
aside,
here's
watching
here's
him
the
talk is
here's
like
the
watching
thing
one
that
of the sad Sarah McLachlan animal
here's the
commercials.
thing that I like about Biden.
God.
Is I don't know anybody that voted for Biden.
I don't.
I know
either.
that I know a bunch of people that voted against Trump. I don't know anybody that was just like, fuck yeah, Joe
haven't
Biden.
seen anybody
Like Joe
post
Biden wasn't
anything.
even sure that he wanted to vote for Joe Biden. He's like, fuck, I'm old.
He forgot he's running for president. He forgot to vote. He forgot.
So,
He's like,
without
"What
getting
day is
too
it?"
far into it, this guy has shit in his pants right now. He
has shit his pants within the last month or so.
within the last
I
week.
guarantee you.
Oh fuck. Are you kidding me? Now, listen, I'm not here to make fun of incontinence. That's not what's going on here. But what I'm saying
I am.
is that he is not about.
Kidding.
He doesn't have his wits about him. That's all I'm gonna say.
He's on a cognitive decline.
What's going on with him? What's going on with the guy?
I don't know. It's hold on, my phone is trying to look things up against my will. Anyway.
So
yeah, watching him
it's painful.
talk, it's
painful, dude. That deal
And-
that he
and
said the other day, the fucking you can be anything you want to be. All you gotta do is
oh god, I'm trying to think
well,
of what he said the other day. I was
anyway, that's what I'm
listening to
saying.
it.
He's like, well, anyway.
Mike Gallagher or Charlie Kirk or one of those guys. I don't listen to him because I want to, but I have to as I work for a conservative talk station, and we do carry those programs. So I do have to monitor them quite often, and they will play sound bites of Biden, and it's just hilarious. And it was funny, the Daily Wire, when Biden announced he was going to run for president in 2024, and the Daily Wire was like, breaking, Biden's going to run for president. Like, he announced it. And Ben Shapiro, like, he captioned it, well, it looks like Biden's going to run for president. All right, well, because, well, I guess Biden's going to run for president. It's like, you didn't have to announce that. But
Anyway,
yeah,
I don't even know how we got off on that, but
we were talking about deep fakes, and then, but
that's the deal. They're fucking. We've already seen it. I'm sure that there's already been a world leader that has addressed the nation with a deep fake. Mm-hmm. I'm sure of it. It freaks me out a little bit, you know. Oh no. So, you know what, buddy?
what's that?
We got a really depressing song to play for them today.
Oh, we do. Let me. Are we exiting the rabbit
We don't
hole?
have to. If you would like to exit the rabbit hole,
Okay, we're gonna exit the rabbit hole. Just a sec. I think I have this. All right, now you're in an aquarium.
Cool, great. Just to put a bow on that. I don't think I don't think that hypnosis was ever a should ever have been considered like a good technique, and they did it for 1,700 cases. That's bizarro, bud. That is bizarro. Robert Troyer is now following. Well, what's up, Robert Troyer? Thank you for following. Oh, that's right, folks. Now you're going to get called out on the streams. If you're following, if you're tipping, if you're buying merch, your name's just going to come right across, and we are going to celebrate you joining the family. Joining the fam. Damn, man. Drugs are good, and when you do them, people think that you're cool. No effects. This is illegal. There's no fucking way that's okay. Roundhouse kick into next week. Holy shit. What the fuck? You can implant false... Oh, this is all about... Dude, I remember seeing... Oh, hang on a second. Hang on, man.
People will like you more if you do drugs. Like how everybody always brings up, man, as a kid, they made it seem like I would be offered free drugs like a lot.
All fucking liars. Dude, I remember seeing
Nobody
an article
offers
come
guys in
out
their late 30s
about our
drugs.
government paying an Irish filmmaking company to make many of the terrorist beheading videos you've seen. Most are fake. Look it up. I actually did know that. And that
Really?
is actually fucking true. So apparently, like, that's not to say that, like, you know, there's not these fucking terrorist cells that did shit. But most of the videos that leaked on the internet or whatever, those were all paid by the U.S. government, film companies, like to fucking
Behead a guy?
well, just to kind of ramp up paranoia and make sure that everybody still thought we were doing the right thing. That shit's wild, man.
You have to have a video. You can't just like say that they're beheading people. You get if they're either going to support the war and be like, yeah, kill the terrorist, or they're not. If you can just say it, you don't have to cut a motherfucker's head off.
FBI gangster 2243, fancy pants. Dare let me down. I'll tell you what, we have a great Dare video, a couple Dare videos. If you go to our Facebook page or YouTube, you can find Dare Lion skits that are pretty poignant, I think. They're pretty poignant.
There's a guy who comes on the show once in a while. He's an entrepreneur of sorts. He is an entrepreneur. He's a well-to-do, classy kind of guy.
He's a cunt.
Dan?
Yeah,
Danny?
old Danny Diamonds. He is known in the wrestling world of growers as the most hateable man in cannabis. He's made of diamonds. He dabs diamonds, and he beds dimes. That's what he does. He bangs dimes, and he what does he say?
Damn it, you're fucking tanking, bro.
I bang. What the fuck?
You can get a good look at a butcher's
You
ass
get a good look at
you
a
stick
bull
your head in a bowl.
butcher's ass. I don't remember. I don't know. He fucking dabs diamonds. That's what he says. Long time no listen. What's up, Hoss? How you doing? It's long time no show. Actually, was the deal. It was fake videos. Yeah, that shit's fucking crazy.
Yeah, if anybody's bad or feels bad they haven't tuned in for a while, don't worry. We haven't given you anything to tune into. You haven't missed anything.
So why don't you go ahead and give him a little Danny Diamonds.
Oh, here's a little video from Danny Diamonds himself. You actually got some rare archival footage of a dream he had. All right, here we go.
Oh, you know, whew. One of the hardest parts of Danny Diamond's day, counting that money. About takes it all out of me, I tell you.
Oh, who can look at sick kids and turn the other way? Completely disregard the needs of patients in the state. The Candyman.
The Candyman?
The Candyman can.
The Candyman can.
The Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with weed to watch his bank account grow. Who can say tomorrow as if it's guaranteed? And sell cartridges $160 a G. The Candyman.
The Candyman.
The Candyman can.
The Candyman can.
The Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with weed to watch his bank account grow. Oh, who can ignore sorrow for the sake of stacking green and have a bunch of simps explain away his awful greed? The Candyman.
The Candyman.
The Candyman can.
The Candyman can.
The Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with weed to watch his bank account grow. So, that was an idea that we had a while back, and everyone thought that we were going a little hard in the paint on the industry, and I'm, whatever. I don't really care.
I know your idea for that video, the original, and it could have been a lot darker.
It was much darker.
I was even me.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't know, Craig.
It was much darker. I
up.
was reaching into the bag of, oh, you want to feel something, motherfuckers? But whatever. Honest to God, everybody and their brother can talk about, strain reviews and all of those and that's great, and that's fine. It's fine. We built a kind of a community that has turned into something so much more than I think even what we thought in the beginning. We kind of thought we were going to talk about, I thought, and we talk about cannabis from time to time, but even like coming over from 590, Steve had some people in that parents that told their stories. It all started with parents. And then like it started with the guy that did 25 fucking years in prison.
Jeff Mazansky.
Yes.
I was talking about him on a radio show I was producing.
100% down in fucking Poplar Bluff.
Poplar Bluff, you could text 420 to get information on Jeff while he was still in prison. Like, yeah, I had somebody from Show Me Cannabis come on the air. That's how I got a hold of John Payne originally.
Yeah.
And then I found out you guys knew him. I'm like, you know John Payne?
Oh, you're really good.
So that was neat.
So that was, and that did set a course, but more important than like the weed aspect of it was, was the fact that we were finding parents that we could potentially be something for. And it really had like the community, like that's what it's become about. It's become about the fundraising, and it's become about the place where people can go and, talk about shit that they're struggling with and hear people who they know have had struggles themselves, help them through that. And a place where they can let their freak flags fly and they can just be their genuine self. I think what this show and this community has always been is like a place where people can, be their most authentic self. And straight up, like, I'm not a weed patient. And I always felt like I wanted to get like people that were truly using this as medicine, like get them their fucking medicine, and for me, like, I appreciate the fact that some people waited until fucking this year to buy marijuana in their life because now it's legal in their state. There are people that do that,
For 60
and they
a G.
might believe. Buddy, that's the fucking deal. I'm like, do I even fucking want to make this video? Do I even really give a fuck? Like, do I even care? But I do care. I do care that people get RSO. And not just like, let's flood the state with RSO, because that's not enough. Because people with hormonal cancers can't have high THC RSO. It's got to be 3-to-1 CBD to THC at least. And I'm not a fucking, I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying that like high THC RSO would be an awful regimen for someone that had a hormonal cancer. But that's something that we don't even fucking hear about because there's not like a fucking market that's providing it. And people are like, oh, you can make your own. You can do whatever. And Steve fucking stood on the fucking chair, pounded his fucking chest and said, where's the fucking RSO? And he was right. He was right because at the end of the day, great. We can celebrate the fact that if you have a card, you can walk around, you can have weed on you. You can have a lot of fucking weed on you. Like you can have a shitload of weed on you if you're a patient, and you can have even fucking more weed on you if you're a cultivator for 3. But you can have a fucking boatload of fucking pot on you if you can do it. But there isn't anywhere you can go and buy RSO right now. It just doesn't exist. And you wonder kind of, why. And people say things like, well, there's just not enough usable plant material. And okay, that's fine. But then the first thing you roll out is candy. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that candy can't be medicine because there are people that use cannabis.
Candy with THC in it?
Straight up.
Because, like, remember that story about that kid that took that candy to his class and it had THC in it because he found it and all the kids got high, and there was like that story a few years back, and I'm like, you're just asking for a terrible scare story that's gonna completely fuck up the whole deal. Because like, if you want some gummy bears or some little fruit rings, just go to the gas station and goddamn get some. We have to put THC in that shit.
My thing is
and put it in a colorful little kid fucking package.
I'm not so broad to.
I just think that one thing's kind of.
Or I'm not so obtuse, I guess, to fucking say that like people can't be using those candies to medicate for things that aren't cancer. Okay, like there's all kinds of different things that people use cannabis for. Whether that looks like sleep, whether that looks like pain, whatever that looks like, it's fine. Whatever, but the people that like the terminal patients, the one that like we passed like the first weed thing for, they need fucking medicine. Like they need a place. There are still people that if you're not in the know, the amount of work you have to do to just kind of talk to somebody who just so happens to know somebody who knows something about RSO. Like, yeah, it exists. The channel exists, but it's not providing enough of that for what is needed. And my partner wasn't wrong in saying that. And I know that some people took offense to him, felt like he was swinging on the wrong people. But at the end of the day, I can't. If I look back on it, like there might be some stuff where he didn't know, but I'll tell you this: there wasn't anything.
His intent wasn't.
His intention was right. It was there.
not
Was in the right place. And also, when he
far.
started calling out some of this pricing and shit, I'm like, whoa. Has he said anything that's not true? And guess what? The first fucking thing that came out were these fucking cartridges. Just the other day, just last week, a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. half-gram cartridges. $79.99. $80 for a half a gram cartridge, dude. That's fucking... Dude, somebody said the funniest... Wrote the funniest Facebook comment ever. It was like, I think, in the Missouri Cannabis Network. And he was like, oh... They think we're white. Like, and I thought that was the funniest thing ever.
We don't have that kind of money.
So like, to me, it is insane. That's fucking insane. It's fucking nuts. And people are like, well, you just got to give it time to roll out. Well, we passed it in 2018.
I mean,
they started commencements a year ago. We supposedly have around 10 facilities that are growing. Prices are going nowhere. That's now 1/6. Now, when it was only 2 of the fucking facilities growing, they were like, give it a little bit of time. More people are going to open up. And I think the price of flower is coming down a little bit. But it's fucking crazy to look at what these people are trying to charge for fucking for this shit. So I made the fucking Danny Diamonds video. Figure it out.
I mean, I do understand. People do have to take into consideration, like, somebody who's selling weed legally or any kind of cannabis product, they have a lot more expenses than your homie down the street. He's paying for sandwich baggies. There's
no
licensing,
question.
There's taxes, there's overhead, there's labor cost.
Yeah,
but
that's
what
fine.
is the upsale? Like, what's the like?
That's fine, dude. But they're growing.
When
like
they hit the
these...
green, how far do they keep going? And I'm not one of those.
Well, they won't.
I'm not
hit
one of
the
those
green permit.
nasty
Straight up,
S words.
They won't like the dispensaries. They won't hit the green for years. They won't even come close to hitting the green for years. But but here's my thing: is the cultivators are trying to hit the green in 1 year. Right. That's the fucking crazy part. Forget the fact, like, it would be one thing if we didn't kind of all know what this shit was selling for wholesale. That would be one thing. But we do. We have a really good idea. And for the longest time, they were selling well over $4,500 a pound wholesale. For the bunkest fucking fucking
brick ass weed.
Come on,
you ever
dude.
buy that weed back in the day? You could see like the corner of the. You get the corner of the brick.
100%. Yeah, dude. I actually had a pretty nice little plug on that. Like, it was green. It never had a bunch of seeds in it. Yeah, like I didn't mind that at all.
Like
I was smoking fucking a box of blunts a day.
Seeds.
Like, I didn't mind that at all.
You had to smoke blunts. You had to do bong rips. It just put you to sleep. But okay, so Craig, you're a libertarian of sorts, I guess. I don't like labels. I don't like.
Well, I mean, it's probably how I most closely identify, I suppose.
I would say the same thing for myself.
I'm probably a minarchist.
But like, how do you correct this problem without government involvement?
Well, the government has created this entire problem. Okay. Dude, if you look at Oklahoma is
because somebody would have to come in and say,
you
have to sell this for this. You have to make a law.
It's very easy. There was like 2,300 license applications.
Right.
They approved 300 and change.
And it's like non-refundable. They made the state of Missouri made like $3 million.
No, they made more than that. They made a shitload
just in non-refundable license fees,
dude. Yeah, like it's insane.
It was like in the millions.
That's fine.
I forgot the exact number.
Many millions. Mm-hmm. Many millions, dude. They've already spent $8 million fighting people that are appealing the fucking decisions. So my free market decision is just you fucking grant every one of those licenses. Everybody is fucking. We are in the weed business. Missouri is in the weed business. If you are a talented cultivator, if you are a talented weed business, you should come to Missouri and flourish. We are a place that invites every cannabis entrepreneur there is. Every little side ancillary business that can. Missouri is the place where you should come and set up. That's how
They
I
won a
approach that problem.
contest over some Missourians over L.A. or not L.A. but
Dude,
somewhere in California.
Motherfucker, 4-state grow off. We talked about. We haven't even had a show. I mean, we kind of did a little last week after all the shit went down. We had a 4-state grow off. Steve and I did a series with Bo from Grow Active Solutions. He knows hydro. He knows how to grow. Set Steve up with an awesome grow setup. And it was a 4-state grow off. Missouri, Oklahoma, Colorado, California. Bunch of different growers. The two growers that won it, they tested highest terpenes percentage, highest THC percentage, and then best overall bud. And 2 Hoosiers won, swept all 3 of those. So Missouri's showing the fuck out. It's like, that's the other thing. Is then you have like these people that come in. Steve and I have talked about this before. You have these people that come in and they're like, oh, I've been like, this is how it worked out here and this is how it worked out there. Great. Well, if there wasn't like a fucking a whole goddamn stupid fucking licensing system, then just let these people that have, like, yeah, we get it. We get agriculture. I know this is going to fucking blow your mind. We know how to grow things in the Midwest. You fucking, like you fucking self-important clown shoe. We know how to grow stuff, okay? The way I fix that, being a libertarian, is that I grant every single license. Every single one of them. And I let the market figure it out. I don't even have a fucking licensing process. We're just in the...
I hate the word license.
Yes. Weed is decriminalized. Weed is descheduled. Have fun finding ways to make money off of weed. If you're caught on the fucking, if you're caught under the influence driving or something like that, there's going to be a punishment. Outside of that, fucking have fun. Have fun. Knock yourself out. We need an Oklahoma model. You'll either pass testing and consumer approval and make it, or you won't. That's the fucking deal. You got a bar. Hey, can your business meet all of these health requirements? Okay, great. You're in business. Now, figure out a way to market to your people, a way to make a good product, figure out a way to get it in the hands of as many enthusiastic smokers as possible, and fucking rock and roll. But instead, we have people like Lisa Cox, who I dubbed this broad an enemy of the state of Missouri. She's the worst human. She's the worst. Like, every time I read something from her, I just want to throw up. She is such an asshole. And like, I mean, it is just...
I've never heard a woman be called an asshole before, I don't think.
An asshole. And like, so like you got these people. Can we have weed without mold, please? Oh, no doubt. Love all the mom and pops in Oklahoma. Let's do that. Let's have fucking mom and pop shops selling weed. Just looking out for me, keeping care of their nice little garden, having their own flower in-house that they have control of. Every single dispensary should have had at least a microgrow. Every single dispensary should have the ability to make their own products, as long as it meets the fucking whatever testing that you want to put on it. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, just every single one. It's not that fucking hard. Let people, but the feel free, do what you want market doesn't fit into the current way that income is taxed. It's a beautiful ideology, but we're just not there yet. But straight up, like, we have that bill right now in the fucking House. Like, there is a bill right now that completely deschedules weed in Missouri. It allows every single person to get into the business by paying for the fucking business licensing. No, cost prohibitive nonsense, nothing. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. So how would I do it? Fucking open it up. You can go to Oklahoma right now. You can go to Oklahoma right now with a temporary medical card, okay? And for the cost of you to buy their medical card and buy their medicine, you can still get about 3 times the amount of product as you could in a Missouri dispensary. It's unbelievable. It's fucking unbelievable. So I know I kind of got off on a tangent there. I want to talk about arguably, I mean, this fucking guy. I love him so much. We still have a really cool space out in Festus that I'm really looking forward to doing some cool stuff in. We're going to do kind of a musical thing out there that I think is going to be fucking awesome. I think it's going to offer an awesome service to local musicians, but B, it's also, we're going to take the opportunity to really show off how talented some of the people in this group are, in particular, and in the Sophisticated Hoosiers are. And Jason Long from Sweet Leaf has made all of that possible. Sweet Leaf Emporium, custom glass. Seth and I were just talking today. We're going to get a cool little setup in here with like maybe some just super high-end glass, hand-blown, custom by Jason Long from Sweet Leaf. And we're going to continue to send people his way. So they're still rocking in the Farmington store. The Festus store should be up and running again pretty soon. It's going through a little bit of an overhaul. But Farmington is rocking. Jason's blowing glass. They got people like, I went in there probably like a week or so ago. People just coming off the street, plugging in their guitars, just rocking out. It's a fucking concert in there. It's a place where you can get every great cannabis and cannabis accessory that you can ever think of. You should check out Sweet Leaf Emporium in Farmington. Give them a follow on all of the socials. They're building custom glass and they're cultivating culture, the counterculture. And I think that's why we kind of always got along so well, that's kind of who I've always talked to. I think, that's the other thing, is like there's this thing that is associated with weed, like with the people running it, where they like they're bringing all of this, what's the word I'm looking for? Like they're trying to make weed assimilate to their business culture. And weed is like the fucking flag of the counterculture, They're trying to
maybe sprinkle a little cronyism into it, kind of make it an exclusive kind of deal. Like if you deal in that area, you're, the uppities.
Yeah.
The regular guy, the hipsters, the hippies that fought to have it. Because, actually, if you watch Hamilton Morris on Joe Rogan, they talked about this.
Oh, did they? I actually started it. I didn't finish it yet.
He's like, it's going to take these Ivy League business guys to really get this going. It's going to take somebody to say, hey, there's some money in this, because
no doubt.
The people who paved the way, the guys who went
That's
to jail,
how it goes. I'm
and
seeing it right now.
Protesting, the people that actually use it and actually know what they're talking about, they're only going to get so far and be taken serious.
You're right. You're 100% right.
It takes that business guy to come in and...
You're 100% right. But the problem is that the business guy thinks we don't know what the fuck it costs. That's something you can't do. Like, you can apply your business model. Just know that the people that have controlled it wholesale for the last fucking 50 years know how much fucking weed costs. We were the ones selling you fucking $70 eighths, you fucking knob. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna sell me a fucking $70 eighth. Who the fuck do you think you are? Let's just kind of get back in our fucking station a little bit. Is all I'm saying. Let's even it out.
Let's walk into a dispensary.
Let's find that fucking
your polo shirt tucked into your khakis. Can I get a gram cartridge, my man? Home slice.
What's up, fellow kids?
Hey, kids. Got any drugs? I'll take 2 drugs, please.
Anyway, so I don't know. I guess I didn't really. But it brings up an important point, and it's one of these things that I find myself kind of RSVPing to more and more, just to kind of hear what the conversations are. Same things happen with psychedelics. There's a new company entering the psychedelic medicine space on pretty much a daily basis. I see a new company that's going to be listed. Most of I get updates anytime an article is posted about psychedelics anywhere on Google, in Google's algorithm. I get an email, and 90% of them,
that would never get old.
90% of they do it like once a day, so like they accrue all of them throughout the course of the day. 90% of those articles are about investment opportunities in psychedelics. That's what drives the machine, So, anyway, it's kind of a necessary evil, but also like it's also like someone, I don't know. So that's not a really good option, but it's like having a fresh drinking spring right here that's free to the public, and then someone's standing in front of it bottling it and saying, this will be $3 a bottle, please. And I'm like, yeah, but it's just right there. I'm just going to go ahead and get a drink. Just going to get a drink. I'm not going to pay you that money. I'm just going to get a fucking drink, you weirdo. Like, anyway, I don't know. Just something that kind of gets in my crawl a little bit.
Seems to, yeah.
Sweet Leaf Emporium in Farmington. They got another little spot in Festus. They make great glass pipes, all of your smoking accessories, the cones, wraps, whatever you young rapscallions are into when it comes to consuming cannabis. I'm resisting using the emote thing. Yeah, no problem. I was warming up my thumbs. Dude, I finished the Del Gaudio book today. You're fucking mowing through books, my man. You gotta watch the special. I don't know if the special. Okay, so that's what we're gonna get to. I guess that was the next thing. Real quick, one thing that I kind of forgot to do here. Are you talking about Nestle? I mean, kinda, right? Kinda. Except I think Nestle bought up the land around the fucking water, so you couldn't do it either. The book that Steve's
Nestle
talking
doesn't
about.
sell water; they sell plastic bottles.
Pretty much.
They are not the water industry; it's the plastic bottle industry.
No doubt about that. So Steve's comment is going to kind of segue me. Did you find the end? For the?
I did. I found.
Beautiful.
I think I found an outro. So,
Whatever.
do you want to talk about some stuff?
I do.
Some streaming picks.
I do want to talk about some
I'm not
streaming
going to
picks.
sing this song.
That's okay. We're not.
I'm
I'm not going to sing that song without Steve. I'm not going to do that.
Streaming.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
All right.
No, I do have some streaming picks though.
I got a few. Yeah.
And remember our allegory in the cave episode? He covers it, but it's so much more. I know. I've heard him tell the story. So, okay. Streaming picks of the week. It's like this is like the streaming picks of 2 months, and I have a bunch of shit, but I'm just gonna talk about this one thing that I saw that is like, I don't know if you would dig it, if we're being honest. I don't know. Maybe. I think it's like one of the most captivating art pieces I've seen in like a couple of years.
Is it like that that spoken word thing you watched, where the guy like does a talk like a Henry Rollins kind of thing?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll proceed. What's it called? No, the name.
Yes.
Tell me.
In and of itself.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So that's my pick. Derek DelGaudio's In and of Itself. It's on Hulu. My buddy Chris Korn messages me, and he's like, yeah, we forgot the lyrics. They were too esoteric. My buddy Chris Korn messaged me, and he's like, I need you to watch this film. And as soon as you're done watching it, I need you to message me and let me know what you think. And Chris is a world-class magician. Like, dude performs for the fucking Royals. He performs for the Stars. Like, Chris is a bad motherfucker when it comes to fucking illusions and magic. And so I'm like, okay, like knowing that it is another magician, like I'm thinking it's going to be pretty impressive, you know. And Miss was doing something, and she ended up going to bed, and I was lying in bed, and I put it on, and it is a one-man show. And it's really hard to kind of even talk about without giving it away. I think I found a way to do that. But it's a one-man magic show, and it's all about, he's telling a story about the roulettista. And the roulettista is this guy that chooses to play Russian roulette like every night. And he's just really good at Russian roulette. Like, he's really fucking lucky. And this guy is telling him this story.
He's really good at not shooting.
Really good at fucking not catching the bullet. So this dude is telling him this story in a bar about the roulettista. And then he gets up, finishes his drink, and tells the dude, you're the roulettista. And so this magician then spends, this is Derek DelGaudio, he then spends the rest of his life fucking trying to figure out what the hell this guy, how the hell this guy, like what he meant by that. And so he ends up, you know, like it's just a captivating thing. And so what it is he tells a story that intertwines, like it's autobiographical, and he's kind of telling his life story and then his upbringing in magic and then like kind of how it applies and what the fuck this guy meant by him being the Ruletista. And that looks like the story being told in 6 chapters, which each represent like a chamber on a revolver, essentially. Okay. And on each of the chapters has some kind of magic illusion that's attached to it. And he's telling the story of his life. And by the time it was done, like, I wasn't really sure. Like, his delivery is so deliberate and the crowd is silent the whole time. But he has like these interactive moments with the crowd that are fucking like, they'll bend your mind around. And then it was like, when it was done, I was sitting there and I was just like, wait, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? And then like, and I think that if I would have seen the show in person, I think I would have been fucking completely blown away by the magic and the illusions that he's doing. Because his final trick is one of the craziest goddamn things I've ever seen. It's like one of the most beautiful brain exercises I've ever fucking seen. Like, it's fucking insane. And I hope I'm building this up because it really is. It's fucking wild. But then, so like, I know if I was sitting in the theater that I would have been like just wowed as this person that went to see this magic show. But then watching it as a movie added this whole different element to it because he did this show like 582 times. And they recorded it every single night. And so like they layer a lot of this show and he's fucking nails and he's like the same dude every night, you know? And
so it's like a compilation of every night he performed.
yeah, but it flows that it feels like it's
like
the same
Stop
one.
Making Sense by the Talking Heads.
Yes.
It's like a 3-night concert.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly
that
like
thing.
that. And they take this, this collection of people's experiences, and kind of put it all together, and they tell this story. And it was so good that like I was sitting around like just trying to figure out what the fuck I saw. I wasn't really sure. And I want to go watch it again. But like the next day I was compelled to like search this dude. And then I started like listening to podcasts and shit with him on it. And I listened to a conversation from like this bookstore in San Francisco that they hosted. And it was him and the dude from Mythbusters, Adam Savage.
A redheaded dude?
Yeah, with like the goatee. Not the one that wears like the beret. Not him.
Yeah, the redheaded dude with the glasses.
Yeah.
Adam, he's great. I love that show.
He's a pretty good interviewer too. So he's blown away by the show because he actually saw the show in New York and then he saw the special on Hulu. And so then they get to talking about this book that Steve was just talking about. Just looked it up and some movie came up called The Hug.
The Hug?
No, it's actually Derek Del Gaudio's In and of Itself. And so they start talking about this book that Steve was talking about. It's called Amoral Men. AMORALMAN. A moral man. Immoral man. Okay. And that is like a third medium of telling a lot of the same stories, but in a totally different medium. And so I'm actually really interested to read the book, but I can't even get started on it because I'm balls deep in fucking Pikal right now. It's so good, dude. It is so good. But anyway, in and of itself, it's like it's the most captivating thing. I've been starting some animes with my boys just because like they're starting to really get into that shit, So I just got my son Landon started on Cowboy Bebop last night, and I forgot really kind of how great it is.
I'm not a big fan of anime, but I can get down with some Bebop.
I'm not a huge anime guy either, and that's kind of what he's been.
Episode where he gets shot like 3 times, and he just keeps getting up.
He's been mowing through them, and he's been mowing through a bunch of different animes.
Vicious?
Yeah, I don't know. We just restarted it. I forgot, but
yeah, they got the sword.
But dude, the animation's beautiful. The storyline's great. It's just fun, kind of a space western. And I babysat for my cousin
even
over the weekend.
Even if you don't like anime, it's
totally,
it's all right.
Totally. I started the Zack Snyder Justice League. They did it. So Justice League, there was a Justice League movie that came out in like 2017. Yeah. Well, Zack Snyder did a Zack Snyder cut of it, and apparently, like it makes it like a 4-hour and fucking 7-minute movie or something. And I asked people specifically, did he shoot a whole new movie or did they take the old movie and just add shit to it? And a couple people were like, "Oh, it's a new movie." Well, it's not a new movie; it's the old movie, but they have added so much to it that, yeah, like I like it's. I don't know. I forgot where I was going. I got sidetracked here. Justice
4.5 hours.
It's 4 hours.
4.5 hours.
Are you into superheroes?
I'm not crazy about the superhero movies, but I was surprised at how much I liked what they did with the X-Men. I was worried that they were just going to ruin it.
Dude, I love
good.
I love like the newer X-Men movies that are like First Class and Days of Future Past is for real one of my favorite movies. I love it. It's one of my favorite superhero movies.
And I'm sure you can believe this, but the Tim Burton Batmans are definitely the best.
Yeah,
Tim Burton Batmans, or they're not just the superhero movies, but I love the imagery.
See, and I dig that, and that's why I love the Joel
casting.
Schumacher Batmans.
God, there's nobody better to play any of those characters, from Batman to the Penguin to Jack Nicholson playing the fucking Joker. The whole thing was perfect. And Batman Returns is one of my favorite movies of all time, for sure.
That's so funny to me.
And
like
you like those goddamn cartoony ass.
That's when I watch a superhero movie. Look,
Batman Forever has some redeeming qualities.
I was going to say, let me rank my Batmans.
I'll let you go for that one. But Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin's awful.
George fucking Clooney.
Batman and Robin's awful. George Clooney's nowhere near the worst part of it.
That's bad.
Like he's
Mr. T puns.
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze. We were talking about Mr. T earlier.
Dude, I don't know if Steve was in here. I don't know if Steve was in here when you said it, but if he fucking knew that you knew Mr. T and you never brought him in here, then you guys were fucking conspiring against this.
When I tried to get a hold of
him,
him, they're like, "Oh, he's living in like Europe right now or something, doing stuff out there."
Well, I pity the fool. Lives in Europe. See how I did that?
He'd probably just say no anyway.
So. Yeah, listen, if I had to rank them, it'd go Batman, Batman Forever, Batman Returns, Batman and Robin. And then I don't even put the Nolans in there. Like
those are
they're just their
movies.
Own
they're
thing.
modern day and everything.
They're based in a world that we live in, and that's fine.
It's just so different.
All of that's fine. I just, I like to have fun. Like, dude, Jim Carrey was so. I watched it with my. So here's the deal. Trevor is like, I'm really cultivating this too because the kid's got like he's got the Jim Carrey thing. Like he's just always trying to be on, and so like he's really been on a Jim Carrey kick here lately. He wants to know what Jim Carrey movies he can watch, and so I was in a mood to watch a superhero movie. So we ended up turning on Batman Forever, and he fucking laughed at the Riddler so hard, and not to mention that fucking. I know we talk about it all the time.
That's one of those redeeming qualities of the movie for sure. Is Jim Carrey just playing the Riddler? Like,
Jim Carrey being the Riddler was great.
It worked.
And the soundtrack fucking bangs. And
the
also,
soundtrack is one of the best movie soundtracks.
And also, like, dude, like
the only good U2 song.
Fucking somebody, I think I heard somebody one time describe it as an ecstasy fever dream, and I'm like, yeah, man, like that's what it was. Okay. Everything was just kind of under a black light. That's what Joel Schumacher did. Like he fucking. He backlit everything. He would put LEDs on everything. Like it was
kind of like what I want to do this studio.
Fuck yeah,
but
dude, you make this motherfucker look like
definitely. He tried to take a old comic book and make it a movie.
Yeah,
where Tim Burton said, "I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do it."
But I'm going to do it in Tim Burton's world, where it's like Nightmare Before Christmas. But Burton didn't really. I mean, he kind of did that.
Look at Batman. Look who he is as. He's not a superhero. He's a regular ass dude. He dresses like a bat. It's all weird and shit. He has a bat cave. Yeah. His enemies are they're like the Joker, the Penguin.
Yeah,
they're just freaks. They're not like also superheroes,
well, that's
but
the
they
other
use
thing.
their
That's the other thing is
they
like,
don't just use their powers for
come
evil.
These
they're
motherfuckers
freaks.
always use the same goddamn villains. Like. Okay, I thought that was kind of weird. In Christopher Nolan, like, I'm like, you're starting with Scarecrow. Like, Scarecrow's kind of a fucking, like, he's fine. But like, Oh, give me the Mad Hatter. You remember the old Adam West show? I used to watch.
There's a Mad Hatter.
Oh,
in
dude.
Batman?
Did you watch the fucking old
Yes,
show?
I used to watch
Remember
it.
the guy that had the fucking hat that popped up and had the hypnotizing eyes and shit?
That wasn't. I remember the Riddler was on that show.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze. He was an original character. As the Penguin, the Joker, the Catwoman.
There was the excellent.
And then
Egghead.
just an endless supply of henchmen that can't fight. That's what they have to defend
Mad
them.
Hatter
They
was
don't even
fucking
defend anything. They just distract Batman long enough by trying to jump him that everyone gets away. It's like it's going to take him 10 minutes to kick their asses. That'll give us plenty of time to get out of here. Go, guys, get them.
Yeah, kerpow.
Spiff.
And then you got like the new, you got Batfleck. You hip to Batfleck?
Batfleck?
Ben Affleck.
Oh, is that what people call it?
They call him Batfleck.
Bat.
People love him. I don't get it.
I haven't seen. That's the Superman one, right?
He's in Batman vs Superman, and he's in the Justice League movies. And I've got no problem with fucking Ben Affleck. He's fine. I just don't get it. I don't think it's all that great. And I think
I haven't watched it.
I don't know. It's worth it. I'm going through it I'm going through the extended cut. I'm doing it like an hour and a half at a time. I'm watching it like a movie length at a time. So, and they've added a lot of Flash and Cyborg scenes, and the Flash scenes are fucking dope. They're really cool, but it's fucking 4 hours, dude. Like, when am I gonna do that?
Holy fuck.
When am I gonna do that? It's 5 ketamine trips.
I like how you quantify like time, like
No, I was trying to, we tried to do that earlier.
your increments of measures, like what drug would it take to get through the whole thing.
It's
like 4 grams of mushrooms.
It's a good portion of an acid trip for sure. So,
well, I'll tell you, Craig, the History Channel's been killing it lately. So all I have 2 streaming picks, and since I have Sling TV, that counts as streaming, right?
yeah, for sure.
All right, cool. So on the history, the Food That Built America is actually pretty cool.
The
Food That Built America. It's a pretty cool show, and it's about all these wars, like McDonald's versus Burger King back in the day, Coke and Pepsi and the Cola Wars. And I liked the episode. It was on the other night. Pizza Hut and Domino's, and this is fucking funny. Domino's started off. They invented food delivery. Like, that was their thing. When they were, like, up in Michigan, it was just one location. It was called, like, Dominic's or something at the time. It's owned by 2 guys. And their concept was, if somebody can bring you your mail, we can bring you food. So they had, like, sandwiches and pizzas and maybe, like, salads or
They
whatever.
were the first food delivery service.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
That was, like, their thing.
Okay.
And they still talk about delivery to this day, like delivery methods. They still use that as an angle when advertising. They were the ones that started the 30 minutes or less thing, or 30 minutes or it's free kind of thing. But yeah, so they were just overwhelmed and they were getting their asses kicked. And so one of the owners was like, "We can't do this. We got to streamline this shit." And he's like, "We're only selling pizzas. Let's just sell pizzas." And the other partner's like, "No, that's stupid." So he walks out on them. So for his half of the business, he gives him the Volkswagen Beetle that they delivered in. So he got that, a sweet Volkswagen.
Okay.
Instead of $800 million that he would have made if he would have stuck around. It's why one of the guys on the show, one of the narrators, like, "Oh, I hope that car lasted a long time."
A long time.
Oh man! So imagine he would be, I don't know, in his 60s or 70s today, I think. So he might still be around, just thinking like, can he even eat Domino's?
Okay, all right.
I think about that every night.
You think dude kicked him a couple bucks?
I get, according to the show, he gave him. Oh, you mean like later in life?
Yeah.
It's like, here you go. I wouldn't. I'm like, hey, you
You
got the car. That was the
I
deal.
would- listen.
The deal was you get the Volkswagen.
Listen.
I would buy him another Volkswagen just to be a dick.
Every year.
I would
Buy him a new Volkswagen every year
year
until they became a nuisance for him to keep
just
up
has all
with.
these
He has
Volkswagen.
nowhere to go.
Where am I
And
gonna
now he
put
has to start
these?
paying for storage. Boy, that's really,
he has to insure them all or he'll
that's
get
the
ticketed.
best, dude. I'm always like, what is fuck you money? Well, let me tell you what fuck you money is. Fuck you money is buying you a brand new
this
car
is a
every
good
year
topic.
that
Fuck
you have to fucking pay for a place to store. Is the guy in the bathroom doing fentanyl? I haven't been downstairs. Momoa or Hemsworth?
It's a sponsor.
Who are you blowing? I'm definitely blowing Hemsworth before I'm blowing Momoa. Why, you ask? Because Jason, there's almost no doubt in my mind that Jason Momoa's dick stinks, bud. Okay? Hemsworth, that thing probably, it's probably fucking, it's just gorgeous, I'm sure of it. And I'm sure it smells like fucking delicious fruits. But Momoa, that dude's dick smells like
exotic
stale,
fruits, endogenous
stale
to the
beer and weak old underwear. If we're putting it out there, that's just, that's where I'm at.
So my other pick, Craig, also on the History Channel. There's a lot of good stuff on the History Channel.
Sure.
The Unexplained's great. Ancient Aliens, always a good watch. That's my Friday nights. Ancient Aliens.
Dude, it's the same. They're
blunted.
saying the same shit every time. What's the deal?
Well, I miss so much of it because I'm fucking ripped the whole time. But my other show, Swamp People, dude. And they did have you ever seen Swamp People where they go gator hunting?
You ever heard Swamp Rap? You ever heard of Swamp Rap? Dude, I fucking love Tony Joe White. Swamp Rap. Go ahead.
Dude, they had this special season called Serpent Invasion where they had to go out and catch snakes, like these hybrid snakes, these super pythons. And their method, there really is none. There's no strategy here. They just yell, "There's one," and then they just fucking run up on it like it owes them money. And they just chase the snake, and they make all kinds of movements and noise. It's just like whatever. And they surround the snake, and one person will distract it to try to get bit while the other person grabs it from behind. But first they have to get a hold of the tail. So basically there is somewhat of a strategy. And it's hilarious. I just laugh my ass off while I watch it. And if you see a snake in the wild or any snake, two things you should never do is try to get it to bite you on purpose or grab its tail. Their strategy is you try to get it to bite you on purpose while I grab its tail.
What a strategy.
It works. They get bit sometimes, but they do catch the snakes, and I don't know, I just get a kick out of it, and I kind of want to try it. I want to go gator hunting too. I want to go dinosaur hunting.
I'm down for gator hunting.
I had a smart-ass friend, Sean from Cafe Piazza. He's like, I think it's too late to go dinosaur hunting. But
some birds.
I would love to go out into Montana or one of the Dakotas. Those are just graveyards for bones.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I mean,
why so much more? Maybe just because there's just less development.
Possibly,
dude. Just down the road from my house in Springfield, where I grew up, they were planning this whole development, whole new subdivision. This is when I was still in. This is when I was still in high school, and originally they thought that so as they started breaking ground, they collapsed into this fucking cave. And they thought that it was this saber-toothed tiger den. But it was like this fucking... Hang on. It was like a short-nosed bear or something like that. Dude, this thing was goddamn... what the fuck was that thing called?
I'm trying to think because Pangea, 175 million years ago roughly is when Pangea started to break apart. Triassic period started 225 million years.
Short-faced bear.
So, so dinosaurs existed from Pangea on to, when it was broken apart from Triassic 225 million years ago to the end of the Cretaceous period, which was, 66 million years ago?
Yeah.
So, they're in that period. So, what would draw all those dinosaurs, like T-Rex, for example, to that area? Because you'd have to look at Pangea as a whole, I guess. So, one of the most complete T-Rex skeletons was found in Wyoming.
Really?
Yeah, the third most complete. Sold for a couple million. That's the thing, dude. You find those bones, you can auction them off. That's what a lot of those ranchers do.
That's how it used to be with meteorites. If you found a meteorite, it was yours. But I think the government...
Well, I mean, of course it's yours.
Yeah.
Fuck else is it?
Well, now they track them down based on where they enter.
All of a sudden, these CIA agents just crash through your windows.
Dude, they might on some shit. You have a fucking big flaming fireball lands in your fucking backyard. They're probably going to be knocking on your door before you fucking know it. Yeah, so this was back I'll tell you what, I was a senior in high school when it happened. Because it was fucking September 11th.
Okay. You were a senior in September? I was a sophomore.
I was a senior September 11th.
You're only, I guess you are a little older than
We were in.
I am.
I had a gym class that was outdoor living, and so we would go like on these field trips. Like for like 3 weeks, our class would be at Bass Pro, and we would learn to tie like flies and shit, and we would do like fly casting and learn that. And then like for another 3 weeks, we would go to like Wilson's Creek National Battlefield. We'd walk around there and learn, about the Civil War and get some. And then like for another 3 weeks, we'd go rock climbing at the rock climbing gym. It was a fucking awesome class. I remember we were going to Wilson's Creek. We were going, or it might have been the nature center. We were just going to go for a hike through a little nature center. And no, it was Wilson's Creek for sure. And this kid got high. He's like, "Did you hear what happened?" I'm like, "What? No, I'm fucking listening to Mudvayne or something, And he's like, "Dude, someone just crashed a fucking plane into the World Trade Center." And I was like, "That's fucking crazy. Like, why was somebody flying that low? Like, didn't think much of it. Just like, well, that's weird." And then, we ended up, they called the class off, told everybody to get back to school. And we did that. But anyway, on that same day, they blew up, they were going to get they were blasting a road, and they blasted this cave that had this short-faced bear. And apparently, its initial research showed that most of the large formations inside were formed during the Pleistocene era.
Okay.
The period from 1.8 million to about 13,000 years ago. Icicle-shaped stalactites, flowstones, soda straws, but the short-faced bear was in there. And when they looked it out, actually, we call it our own Ice Age time capsule. But the word got out, and vandals stormed it. And I played football with one of those vandals, and he fucked his whole life up just being goofy one night there and go check out this new cave that they accidentally found. And they didn't mean to fuck it up, but they fucked shit up just being in there, Dude, fucked him hard.
That's a long period, that era. What's it called?
1.8 million years to 13,000 years ago.
Homo habilis all the way to Homo sapiens developing communication skills.
Yeah, 13,000 years ago. Yeah,
That's
there was probably civilizations that were, popping up.
That's neat. There's
No doubt.
Evolutionary lesson for the week.
Pig-like animals, these short-faced bears were. But the remains were so intact, they saw that they suffered from arthritis and gout. How about that?
You ready to get out of here?
I'm so ready to get out of here,
Yeah,
bud.
on that note.
On that note, short-faced bears, Southwest Missouri. When I heard the planes hit, I looked at my history teacher, Mr. Dukas, and said, "I bet it's that Osama bin Laden character. All the girls in our group's vaginas would collectively explode if one of them got a quartz meteorite." Get your hands off my meteorite. Leave the arrowheads behind, too. There's some drive-through dinosaur Jurassic Park type event coming at Hollywood Amphitheater this summer.
I'll be there.
Really? Dinosaurs aren't real. Deadliest state for wild critters. Montana kills people, man. And on a sad note, yeah.
You can get permission. You can get a permit. You just need to get the ranchers, I guess. Just if they own the property, you just need to get their verbal consent, really. Just, hey, I won't shoot you. Go look for dinosaur bones. But usually, if they own that land, they are, they're wise to the whole thing.
Dude, the landowners out there are fucking, they own such huge swaths.
Yeah.
But usually the deal is, if you're going to hunt for meteorites, something like that, you just tell whoever the owner is, you give them half the take, That's all. Let's shut this thing down, Seth. Guys, it's been fun. I want to talk about our sponsors one last time. James Carlton State Farm. He's the handsomest, most beautiful State Farm agent in the game. The guy that owns the building that we're sitting on was once James Carlton's master. And then James Carlton cut his head off.
He was like Obi-Wan, and James was Darth. Or he was Anakin.
Yeah, the thing is kind of more like...
They still get along, though.
Yeah, they still like each other, and James is better than him. So 314-961-4800. You should give him a shot at your insurance, because if you're getting your insurance anywhere else, you're a goddamn fool. I mean, I'm just going to say it. If you're getting your insurance anywhere else than James Carlton State Farm, carltoninsurance.net, 314-961-4800, you're a goddamned fool. James Carlton State Farm. Give him a shout. You know what? I needed a new windshield. Guess what? Got a new windshield. Guess how much it cost me? $0 fucking dollars. James Carlton State Farm. I was totally expecting to have some kind of deductible or something. No. Got that comprehensive. What's up? Sweet Leaf Emporium. They make glass pipes. They sell you smoking accessories that are used for cannabis. They do also sell tobacco products, but all the pipes and stuff, that stuff's for cannabis. And they will make it known to you. None of this, you don't have to dance around fucking words like water pipes anymore, okay? You can just fucking say, hey, sir, I need a bong. They're going to show you a bong.
I need a weed bong.
So, Sweet Leaf Emporium in Farmington. The location in Festus will be reopening soon. Got some pretty cool work going on down there and a pretty cool partner, I think, that Jason is bringing on. Check out Sweet Leaf Emporium. Guys, last chance. You have 2 days. You have 2 days to go to nativehempextract.com. Enter the code HOSOCOLD, HOSOCOLD. If you do that, you will get 40% off your entire Delta 8 order. You're talking about 500 milligrams of Delta 8 for $34 or so delivered to your door. Get it figured out. This is the best way for you to see if that Delta 8 thing is up your alley. Because I wasn't sure that it was up mine, and it's up mine real good. Okay, it's way up my alley. I got 4 of them up there. Okay, I got all kinds of things in my alley, and that's because Native Hemp Extract provides the quality products that helps me get as much up there as I possibly can. NativeHempExtract.com. Enter code HOSOCOLD, HOSOCOLD, and you'll get 40% off your Delta 8 order. We are above Cafe Piazza. Cafe Piazza has got one of my favorite pizzas going right now. I like to just give me a little slice. I like to jam it right in my word hole. I'm a big fan of this. Seth will be able to tell you the name of this, but it's a chicken Alfredo bacon pizza.
Bianca.
The Bianca.
Pizza Bianca.
Oh, buddy, Pizza Bianca. I'm going to go put my mouth on Bianca right now, I think. I'm fucking starving.
Yeah, I call it the Beyonce.
Give me the Beyonce.
I have fun like that.
I need a little Bianca in my face is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, we are above Cafe Piazza. Soon to be opening is the Benton Parkade. It's an adult arcade. And it's
you can bring kids.
You can bring kids. It's kid friendly. It's a family affair.
Yeah,
but there is a
like
part that's adults only with some gambling machines. If you're into gambling, come on down to Benton Parkade. I'll find a way to take your money, man. There's even a pool table.
There's NBA Jam.
There's NBA Jam. If you want to fucking get the band tuned up on you, just letting you know.
And you can order from Piazza.
And listen, it's just going to be the hang for the Hoosiers.
This is going to be a great fucking neighborhood.
It's going to be a great little neighborhood fucking taking off. Man, my fucking, there's a place just down the street from here. We need to get them in on the meetings too. A couple of weirdos down there. All the weirdos. The ones that we love the most. Anyway.
Are you talking about the XFL podcast?
Oh, no, I forgot about those guys.
Oh, yeah,
though.
they're right down the street, too.
Are they?
Good. They mentioned Bobby Battlehawk when I brought. They
I
go, I know that motherfucker.
I bet they did
They
know
said you were
Bobby
throwing
Battlehawk.
shade, and you can come on their show anytime.
As Bobby Battlehawk?
Yeah.
I will fucking definitely go do their show as Bobby Battlehawk as long as we can have our own recordings of it.
Oh, absolutely. They'd totally be down.
All right, let's do it.
And I'll tell you, we can go out on this roof. We have rooftop access here at our lovely suite.
Yeah, we do. I was stuck on it for an hour today.
The exhaust fan
smells like fucking Cafe Piazza.
It just shoots out. Oh, hey, we didn't talk about that. Let's tell everybody why you called me at work today.
I had to take
Craig.
a shit. I had to take a shit today, and I went. We have a shared bathroom space, and I went out there and I used the restroom, and when I came back, the fucking door was locked, bud. And I don't like sitting on my wallet throughout the day, so I'll either usually have it in my front pocket or I'll toss it on the desk wherever I'm doing work. And Hoosiers Assemble. John Matthews just called. Remember the family we met at Aubrey's funeral? They need our help. They're in town for surgery, and they need food and support. How do we make that happen? We will make that happen. I will find out what's going on. We can make a little donation to them, get them some grub. Let's make that happen for sure. The family that we met at Aubrey's funeral that we talked to, I'll make that happen for sure. Cool. We can totally do that. Calling the banners. Everybody, we met a family at Aubrey, almost said Aubrey Marcus. Aubrey Matthews is the little girl that we all raised money for this year. The Matthews family fit right into our family, and we tried to make that as easy as as we could, not as easy, but as bearable as we could. And we met an incredible young couple who are going through a similar situation at Aubrey's funeral. It appears that they are in town. It appears they're in town and need some food and some support. So we'll get it going. We will get some food chain going. We'll get the Vibe Tribe on the horn. We'll raise a couple bucks and we'll get this thing on. That sounds great. Thanks for letting me know, brother. That's probably why John called me, or I just saw a message from John earlier.
Probably why you were distracted and got locked out.
Yeah, so I was locked
out.
I have to go use the restroom. I go to come in, the fucking door locked behind me. So my keys are in here, my wallet is in here, and I'm thinking, you know what? We have rooftop access too. Maybe, just maybe, I can go out the other door, kind of get out onto the roof, and oh great, Journey got surgery and it went well. Fantastic. We will definitely get them some help. I went out on the roof and I'm like, you know what? There's an outside shot that we didn't lock the door to the roof, and we locked the door to the roof. We did good. So I wasn't able to get in that way. So luckily I did have my phone on me. Otherwise that would have really sucked. Yeah, that would have really sucked. But anyway, so I got stuck out. I was out on the roof for about an hour today waiting for Seth to come from his other job, so that was fun.
I'm like walking by. He's like,
I didn't ignore you. I just saw.
Listen, it was great.
Listen, John. You know the world doesn't start and stop at your convenience, bud. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not as hard up for friends as Steve is. Okay, just figure it out. just figure it out, bud. We're happy to help out. What's up, Heather? So anywho, I got stuck on the roof for about an hour, but it was a beautiful day. At least it wasn't raining. I didn't get stuck on the roof. I could have sat outside, but whatever. Thanks for coming and bailing me out, bud.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you got to sit here and watch AT&T work with me for about 5 hours.
Yeah,
today.
I was like, I wonder if these guys are fucking leaving. It's 6.
It was about 6.
They got here at
6:30.
like 3.
They got here earlier than that.
It was like 2:45.
Oh, was it? Okay.
And then so it would have been like I think right before 3, and then about 6:30, I'm like, so we're gonna do a show, right? Like I asked the guys, like, do you guys just want to be on camera and just never say anything?
I would have been down for that.
I thought that was funny.
I would have been down for that.
Would have been a cute
Karma.
little idea.
Yeah, it was great. Nice day in the sun, and watch a couple, little things. Wish I had my book with me. It's locked in here too. All right, guys, let's wrap this thing up. It's been fun. It's good to be back. Got a lot more stuff being able to be added to this stream, which I'm pretty juiced about. Got me a new iPhone 12. See what this is all about. I'm going to play with it tonight. See what's going on with that. We've got all kinds of new camera.
You're a tech whore.
I guess. I honestly I was pretty close to having this thing fucking paid off, and kind of just completely comfortable with, with just using this until it wasn't worth anything. But I don't know. Worked out okay. Got a whole little deal. So, all right, man. Shut this thing down.
Good first week.
Guys, we love you, and hope that you have a wonderful evening. Thanks for joining us. Let's see what we can help out with. See if we can help out Journey and Journey's family. And I guess I got to call fucking John Matthews back now. Great. John can just fucking call someone else, bud. I'll talk to you on my way home. I got a long drive. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week. See you.